Parties to return to section for the conduct of the business of the House and to do so in accordance with Article 33 and 49 of the Constitution of Liberia. Whereas Honorable J. Funati Kofa and some other members of the House of Representatives asserting that the members of the Constitutional Quorum had not complied with the December 6, 2024 opinion of the Supreme Court, in that he was not presiding over the sections being held by them, filed a bill of information before the Supreme Court to address the stated grievances and to have the court provide clarity to its previous opinion. Whereas the Supreme Court on April 23, 2025 handed down an opinion in a bill of information proceeded wherein the court declared that the acts and actions taken by the Constitutional Quorum was illegal and unconstitutional since Honorable J. Funati Kofa, who the court recognized as still being Speaker of the House of Representatives, was not present and had not presided over the Constitutional Quorum sections as the presiding officer. Whereas, following the opinion and judgment of the Supreme Court, Honorable J. Funati Kofa, who was recognized by the Supreme Court in the opinion as Speaker of the House of Representatives, resigned the position of Speaker of the House of Representatives on May 12, 2025, thereby creating a vacancy which was filled by the holding of elections on May 13, 2025 for a new Speaker of the House of Representatives to satisfy the March 2025 opinion of the Supreme Court and the mandate of the Constitution. Whereas, at the aforesaid May 13, 2025 election for a new Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Richard Namwekong was elected as Speaker of the House of Representatives, thus bringing to an end the leadership dispute and division within the House and ushering in a new leadership of the House, thereby facilitating and restoring the undisputed and challenged conduct of business affairs and sections of the House of Representatives, and restored the House of Representatives in accordance with the Constitution of Liberia. Whereas the opinion of the Supreme Court brought into question of constitutionality and legality of the several actions taken, part of which involved, as mandated by law, the passage of the 2025 budget, which is currently being enjoyed by all of the branches of the government, including the judiciary, and requires legislative and executive action to restore unquestioned legality and constitutional recognition of the said acts and actions taken by the Constitutional Quorum in the course of the dispute in the House of Representatives. Whereas the House of Representatives recognizes that the opinion
So thanks for joining us. Of course, you're hearing the noise in the background while the chief clerk is reading a resolution of the member of the House, and then the noise is just too much in the hall, and the chief clerk has paused the reading. And the speaker and the presiding officer is cautioning his colleagues.
The House of Representatives recognizes that the opinion of the Supreme Court has brought into question legal issues surrounding the workings of the governmental missionaries during the period of the disputes amongst the members of the House of Representatives, and of the need to regularize and give legality to the acts and actions taken during the period of dispute, which requires legislative actions to remove any and all clause of illegality pronounced by the Supreme Court, and to keep the missionaries
Vamos DJ Blue.
Buka Kamara. Followed and Alex Noah. Please have a seat. Talking about mentality. Please have a seat. Please have a seat. Okay, continue, please. Please continue.
My man, I represent him at that team, yeah.
Missionaries of the Liberian government operating legally. The House of Representatives initiates a process under the guidance of the Constitution, the statutes and rules of the House to have the acts and actions taken during the period of dispute within the House giving unquestioned legality. And whereas it is recognized that as part of the unquestioned and unchallenged restoration of legality and constitutionality of the acts passed and actions taken during the period of the dispute within the House of Representatives, that the said acts and actions be by resolution endorsed and ratified by the House of Representatives, that the ratified instruments be submitted to the House of Senate for its concurrence, and that the resolution as endorsed and ratified be submitted to the President of Liberia for approval as required by law, thereby making the acts and actions during the period of the dispute within the House of Representatives legal, binding, and enforceable. Now therefore, it is resolved by the House of Representatives in legislative assembly. 1. That any and all acts passed by the constitutional quorum of the House of Representatives in section, which the Supreme Court held in its opinion of April 23, 2025, in a bill of information decision, was not presided over by the legally recognized presiding officer, and herewith ratified and endorsed by the House of Representatives, duly assembled and presided over by the newly elected Speaker as presiding officer, and constituting the constitutional quorum for such ratification, and that the said acts and actions are hereby ratified and are given the full weight and force of law. 2. That any and all actions taken by the constitutional quorum of the House of Representatives in section, including the ratification of all agreements and international instruments, which the Supreme Court held in its opinion of April 23, 2025, in a bill of information decision, to be unconstitutional and illegal, since the sections were not presided over by the legally recognized presiding officer, are herewith ratified and endorsed by the House of Representatives, duly assembled and presided over by the newly elected Speaker as presiding officer, and that the said acts and actions have the full weight and force of the law. 3. That any and all of the further actions taken by the constitutional quorum in furtherance of the continued functioning and operations of the government, inclusive of actions which were primarily intended and which have formed part of the compromise in resolving the disputes amongst members of the House of Representatives, recognized and accepted by the new leadership of the House of Representatives, and which they also have involved interaction with the other political branches, that is the Senate and the Executive, or which actions were accepted or adopted by the other political branches or sectors of the government as were necessary to take the government running, functional, and operational, are hereby ratified. 4. That this resolution, because of the impact which it has for the activities carried out by the other political branches, Senate and Executive, of the government, shall be duly submitted to the House of Senate for its concurrence and thereafter submitted to the President for his approval, following which it is endorsed and shall be published into handbill, thereby giving it a full force and binding effect into law as of the date of publication. Mr. Speaker,
Alright, so thanks for following us. A resolution signed by members of the House giving legality of their actions during the legislative dispute. I'm sure the chief clerk is trying to get the signature sheet. The resolution has been read and signatures are still being solicited. And so thanks for following us. We're going off to come back briefly when the signature sheet is brought forth. Bye-bye.